Welcome back. West African Regional Bloc, the ECOWAS, has issued sanctions on 20 Guinea-Bissau politicians and businessmen, including travel bans and asset freezes, accusing them of undermining efforts to resolve the prolonged political crisis. According to the bloc, the Conakry Accord has not been implemented, and as a consequence, it's appropriate to apply sanctions to those falling short. Among those targeted by the sanctions are members of Jose Mario Vaz's parliamentary faction, as well as his son, Emerson Guinea-Bissau Vaz. For over 2 years, Vaz has been embroiled in a bitter dispute within his own ruling African Party of the Independence of Guinea and Cape Verde that has hobbled the government. A lecturer at the Sociology Department in the University of Lagos, Dr. Augustine Agugwa, is here to talk more about this. You're welcome to Network Africa.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So what do you make of these sanctions?
Well, this is not the first time ECOWAS is actually handing out those sanctions, but to an extent, going by what in group studies you regard as the organic paradigm, that there is a need at a particular point in time to actually assert the influence of the group on individuals or personalities. I think it makes some sense because in the case of Guinea-Bissau, as you have seen it over the years, has been an issue of what you might regard as personality cults being displayed by the president. Good 18, I'm very, very happy that even the son was mentioned amongst the 20 people who were actually identified as major culprits. There is a lesson. Let's see whether there will be a difference this time around. It shouldn't just be a kind of mountain to show the existence of the body without substantive action to actually back it up. Like I said, this is not the first time, but it's also necessary for us to take note of the fact that sometime, I think that was December 17th, the same body met somewhere at Abuja, and they actually gave a kind of 2 months ultimatum. If nothing happens, then they will take action. Then, this follow-up, which is almost within that 2 months region, shows some seriousness. And I sincerely believe that they should really follow it up with all sense of sincerity and frankness of thought, so that let Africans actually start taking responsibility for their actions. The failure of the first set of the sanctions at a point in time actually made the United Nations Security Council to also issue a threat that if the regional body, which framework they felt should be the right thing, does not really make much impact, that they will take decisive actions. And for a nation that is barely 1.8 million, which is almost like one local government in Lagos State, to be giving out this kind of stress, I don't find it very, very palatable. ECOWAS should rise up to that challenge, and I think they have the capacity to do that.
And talking about rising up to the challenge now, you mentioned that actions should actually follow. So what actions do you think should be put in place to ensure that these sanctions are actually follow through?
Well, they made comments regarding things like seizure, asset seizure, then travel bans, and all whatnot. Mere mountain of threats, right? Which also was the case in the Conakry Accord, which was never really implemented. But when we are not talking about decisiveness in those actions, take note of the fact that in Guinea-Bissau, we have what we might regard as a 500-man strong West Africa ECOWAS strong force situated in that place just for the sake of peacekeeping. One place where ECOWAS had actually demonstrated seriousness in matching action with words should be actually located in the case of Gambia, right? If not that ECOWAS body, though under the strong leadership of our president in the person of Muhammad Buhari, showed some bad estate that it's not a case of backing. We are ready to bite. The former president of Gambia wouldn't have backed down. Now, I think in the case of Guinea-Bissau, ECOWAS should demonstrate that sense of seriousness. Because at a point, they even threatened that they wanted to pull out that their 500-man strong security forces, which United Nations Security Council actually advised them not to. But in this case, they shouldn't just see that force as a body that is there to make peace or maintain peace. Because in the case of, Guinea-Bissau, for the past 2 to 3 years now going, there is, people, they say, are living in a state without government.
Exactly. What do you think?
There are no, right? Now, issuing them those threats, right? I think a timetable should be given to the man they call Jose Mario Vaz, right? That if this does not happen, we will take steps to actually encourage the opposition. Because the truth about it is that what the man did was an illegality. Alongside the court declaration, that his action in deposing a popularly elected prime minister and now imposing a person of his choice. Now you look at what are the issues, purely personal, as it has to do with family tussle, and then something that has to do with how they were receiving foreign guests and all whatnot. That is too petty, that is too personal to actually influence the fate of a nation. ECOWAS should read the Riot Act to him and make him to understand that they've pampered him more than enough. That if he does not take the action, they will help him take that kind of action.
Thank you very much, Dr. Augustine Aguba. We just have to wrap up this conversation at this time. But of course, we'll talk more about this in the coming days and see if the actions are actually followed through. Thank you for coming on the program.
My regards. Thank you so much.
Now, Morocco has added 2 new sites to its list of wetlands. And, of course, let's go also to the well-acclaimed and awarded musical Color Purple in Johannesburg, South Africa, where the musical opened the theater with an all-South African company. The musical is based on a 1982 novel by Alice Walker, followed by a motion picture in 1985.
South Africa is staging The Color Purple for the first time, a story based on the 1982 Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Alice Walker. The Color Purple was adapted to a multi-award-winning film in 1985 and has been staged on Broadway in the United States and UK before. The play opened at the Joburg Theatre yesterday to a packed house. The powerful story of a young African-American girl called Celie, who suffers abuse and racism, was presented by a South African theatre company, with upcoming actor and vocalist Didenhle Kunu playing the lead role.
The story really speaks back to domestic violence and misogyny and the importance of women, you know, establishing relationships where they can be sources of refuge to one another.
It took 4 years to secure the rights for The Color Purple to make it to the South Africa stage. Producers say the story had all the elements to resonate with the reality of lives of many women in South Africa.
Here we are in the 21st century, and some of these dreadful things that happen in the book of The Color Purple are still happening here. There's still daily headlines. So I felt that perhaps this musical also, if we presented it well on stage here, might get a message over to people as well, that you don't behave like this with women. You don't subjugate women. You don't treat them badly and put them in the lower strata of society. So I also liked the fact that The Color Purple had a message to give.
The role of Mr., the man whom Celie was married off to at the age of 14 and who abuses and mistreats her, was played by Aubrey Pooh.
And that's our program today. Thank you for watching. I am BC at Dubai.